pattern returning to central Alabama. We're on your side with how much rain we could possibly see and if it could put a damper on your Valentine's Day plans.
Oh, we're going to be watching that forecast, and we're talking about severe weather preparedness today as we prepare to close out the third day of Severe Weather Awareness Week.
Plus, we're taking you beyond the atmosphere to a strikingly good image of a bullseye galaxy. Bullseye.
Live on your side. First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
It almost looks like a painting when you see those space images, but
really
it's the
does.
real thing, right?
Yeah, that's the real deal.
Yeah, that's nice.
Well, great to have Lauren back with us in Tania on this National Weather Person's Day. We certainly appreciate everything you guys do.
You
appreciate
too.
Well, hey, listen, we have had quite the month out there.
Oh.
Well, we're in February now, but I still have January on my
Yeah.
mind,
I know.
right? With all the weather that's been happening, but
Yeah.
now it looks like we're going to shift into a wetter pattern.
Yes, and and it's nice. I've been out of town to come back. It's like, oh, good, it got warm. Once I came back.
That's
So,
true.
Yeah.
That's true. We've
It's-
been in the 70s.
Yeah, it's
You didn't
nice to
miss
see
much.
February's kind of changing things up a little bit.
That's true.
Well, that's what we're going to be watching, talking about those warm temperatures and take advantage of the next few days. There will be a small rain chance, but there will be some nice breaks to get out there and enjoy some of this warm weather. Let's go to it right now. I want to show you what we are doing is tracking some showers at the moment. We have a little bit of rain out there as we go to First Alert AccuTrack. Some of these showers moving in across west Alabama. Not seeing a whole lot around Oxford and Anniston, places here in East Alabama at the moment, but later tonight, some of these showers could move in. Let's zoom in right now to where some of that rain is falling, and you can see in the parts of Fayette County, also Parrish. We have some rain approaching us, places like Townley and Parrish, and down in towards Oakman, a little bit of light rain, and the Flat Creek area. You can see over in Jefferson County, if you're watching me around places like Pleasant Grove and Hueytown, and I would say also over towards Gardendale, a little bit of rain starting to happen there. So some showers that are moving in, nothing too extreme at the moment. We're still keeping a small mention of a thunderstorm in the forecast, but the way things have shaped up so far today, don't know if we're going to see much storm activity for tonight, but certainly some showers. Again, some of that rain approaching. Let's go in for a closer look here. I was mentioning places like Concord and Pleasant Grove, but you can see around the Adamsville area over towards Maxine, Short Creek, Oak Grove. Again, a little bit of rain that's happening at the moment, but check the First Alert Weather app, a few showers possible. As we look ahead, though, we've been talking a lot about next week, and here's why. This is just some of the global data, and it just kind of gives you an idea. These numbers will probably change, but you see this is certainly our next best chance for rain that we have seen in quite some time from an aerial coverage perspective. You can see there we're looking at rain totals possibly topping 5.5 inches over the next 10 days overall for parts of the area. So, of course, with those kind of rain amounts, we could see some localized flooding issues pop up, but we're talking the possibility of multiple rounds of rainfall, maybe 2 or 3 periods where we have steady rain that sets in at times. So let's watch out for that next week. It looks like Monday and into Tuesday, the next best chance for some of that heavier rain to set up into early next week. But until we get there, rain chances will stay, again, very isolated. So we'll continue to have some breaks to get out and enjoy some of these nicer conditions temperature-wise. But we'll talk more about the 10-day forecast and go beyond the 7-day coming up on First Alert Weather Extra.
Well, thanks, Wes. And now we continue Severe Weather Awareness Week. And we've made it to the middle of the week, and that also means that it's time for day 3. So far, we've talked about different modes of severe weather, how we forecast, and the best ways to receive alerts. But today we talk about preparedness. And to talk more about this, meteorologist Matt Daniel is going to join us now as he brings us further information on how to prepare for severe weather with the help of our friends at the National Weather Service in Birmingham.
Well, all week long, we're talking about Severe Weather Awareness Week as we're getting closer to those spring months when we start to see active severe weather. And today we're going to be focusing on preparedness. So the biggest thing I needed you to know when it comes to being prepared, first off, is knowing where you are on the map. When you're seeing us on TV and we're showing you a map with strong storms, you need to know where you're exactly at. Are you in the northern part of Jefferson County, the southern tip? Maybe you're in the middle of Tuscaloosa. Know where you are on the map. Know your surrounding cities, roads, and counties. That is going to be vital on knowing what to expect as these storms move in. I actually visited the National Weather Service in Birmingham and spoke with John DeBlock. He is the warning coordination meteorologist speaking about getting ready and prepared for severe weather.
To know the vulnerability and the risk where you are and to know what to do when the National Weather Service issues warnings and you all put them on the air, it's time to go to your safe place. All that comes into play. Being prepared, aware, knowing where to go, being ready to go, having ways to get weather information, get those warnings to you in a timely manner. That's all part of being prepared for severe weather.
And we've got 6 ways to receive a warning. That's always very important on getting prepared. And of course, the first thing we always talk about, having a NOAA weather radio. Make sure to have fresh batteries in, plugged in and turned on, programmed to where you're at, because it will notify you at night when you're sleeping if there's a warning where you're located at. And that's going to be vital on helping to save lives. Also, make sure you have ways to receive alerts and download those apps. Download the WBRC First Alert Weather app. We have a lot of great information, 10-day forecast. We push videos telling you what's happening, and you'll get notified if there's warnings as well. So that's also very important to have when it comes to becoming prepared for active weather. Have websites that you trust. NOAA.gov, of course, WBRC.com. We will give you all the information you could possibly need to keep you updated on the forecast. Of course, tune in to us at WBRC radio as well. We'll syndicate if there's any active weather, so make sure you're tuning in for that if there's severe weather in the area. And of course, outdoor sirens, they do serve a purpose if you're outside. So if you're at the park, if you're at the lake, and you see dark clouds and you hear a siren, that's your cue. You need to be inside. Now, they are not necessarily meant for you to hear inside your home. You have to remember you have a TV on, you have wind and rain, thunder outside. You may not be able to hear it. So don't rely on it, but it's mainly used for if you're outside. And then finally, from other people. Yeah, we might be on TV talking about a tornado, perhaps in Pickens County, but if you're in Anniston, you're thinking, why are you on TV? Why is that going to bother me? Well, maybe you have friends or family that live in Pickens County. So we rely on you to make sure you send them texts and notifications to let them know, hey, tune in to WBRC. They are tracking a tornado coming towards your place. So those are 6 ways of receiving a warning. And then finally, just being prepared. Make sure you have the safety gear. Know where you got to go for safety. Having a helmet, protective footwear such as boots when you go to your safe place. And never hurts to have an air horn just in case you get stuck and you need to let people know you're there. A cell phone to communicate, and it never hurts to have some water as well. So it's all about knowledge is power and being safe and being prepared.
Well, severe weather also impacting Northern California, leaving damage across the region. Check out this video of a house inside the Russian River. It went sliding down the hillside as a result of a mudslide. Thankfully, the house was empty at the time. That atmospheric river bringing 9 inches of rain to the area, which triggered flood warnings. More rain is expected today. And taking you beyond the atmosphere to the newest image from NASA's Hubble Space Telescope. It's the Bullseye Galaxy, named for its similarity to, you guessed it, a bullseye. It has star-filled rings from a blue dwarf galaxy that went through it. Thanks to Hubble, scientists now believe it has 9 rings. That's more than previous observations that have shown in other galaxies. And in 30 seconds, we check to see who will need an umbrella for their Thursday evening plans. Plus, and it's Wednesday apparently, plus sit down with a special guest from Northeast Alabama to hear about how they prepare for severe weather threats. We'll be right back.
It's Tuscaloosa County EMA, and the 911's in the back. And East out. Count to 10 for them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan. First Alert AccuTrack. We are seeing at least some light rain and some sprinkles around tonight. You can see most of this is situated along and west of I-65. Most of this is fairly light. And as we've been seeing, temperatures have been warming up. So we're in the upper 60s, low 70s. But even though sometimes when it gets warmer, you can get some thunder in the mix, we're not seeing any thunder or lightning with this batch. But we will zoom in to where we're seeing some of that lighter rain. As we look a little closer towards areas north of I-20, you can see around Tuscaloosa, getting over into Pickens County, some of that light rain falling in eastern Fayette County, just to the south of Jasper, approaching I-22 around Dora. Adamsville seeing some sprinkles nearby, may even see a couple of sprinkles here in the Birmingham metro. Over the next 2 hours, this little bit of light rain we're seeing is going to be pushing eastward. So we'll give a first alert for areas like Alabaster, Calera, Birmingham, Gardendale, possibly even getting over into areas like Jacksonville and Anniston, a few sprinkles tonight. But it's not going to be a big issue for your evening plans. Just have that umbrella around in the days ahead. Wes?
Lauren, and we have a special guest right now from the Calhoun County 911, the Executive Director, Kevin Jenkins. And Kevin, so great to have you with us. There's actually a big event going on in town right now. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, the Alabama 911 Board Conference is underway even as we speak down on Highway 280. It's a meeting and a gathering of all of our telecommunications professionals, the people behind the scenes that make it happen when you call for an emergency.
Make it happen. So dependable and great job you guys do, and a great job that you guys do working with us to help communicate weather information. And we work closely with you guys in Calhoun County, and a lot of great resources there. And with this being Severe Weather Awareness Week, I just want to talk to you a little bit about some of the outreach, some of the things you guys are doing in the community, helping to get the word out about weather awareness.
Oh, absolutely, Wes. Well, of course, we're coming up on another severe weather season.
Right.
You know, we've been through a couple of major events in my tenure at Calhoun County 911.
Right.
You know, April the 27th, obviously, we always refer to. And since that time, we've worked, you know, to add things like, you know, storm shelters, because that is one of the most important things that we try to tell our people is don't wait until the watch before you know where you're going to go.
It's so important. We actually, Lauren was with me today. We were at a meeting with the National Weather Service, and you know, one thing we talked about is before these events, you know, really making sure we have a plan, know where to go to some of these shelters, know where they are located, especially if you are in a manufactured home. You know how to get out there. Now, one thing I remember, we came out to program weather radios one time, and I know there was a time when a lot of citizens in that area were given weather radios, right?
We were.
And some folks may still have some of those older models. I mean, it never hurts to, I know if you have some of those older models, you may want to double check those, but make sure you have a working weather radio.
Well, fortunately, those still work as long as they've got batteries, right? And
Right.
You're correct. We did have a federal grant program several years ago, about 12 years ago, to provide those free to the community. But one of the things that we're very proud of, Wes, as you well know, is providing that diversity in means of notification, the weather radio, obviously weather apps, watching the television. But one of the things that we have, and we're very proud of, is we have 2 low power FM transmitters in Calhoun County.
Yes, you do. And let me tell you, some great music on there.
Oh, well, thank you.
I tuned it in when I came to visit one day, but that is really cool that you have that sourced, and we simulcast with you guys, and you carry us, and it's another way. You know, it's that urgency. It's real time information. It's not a delay. That's the one thing about weather information. You know, if you depend on Facebook, you'll be searching all day to see if there's a tornado warning sometimes.
That's right.
You know, and you go to a radio, you go to television, you go to weather radio. You have that urgency.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, that simulcast is important for certainly our citizens, but we're also thinking about our policemen and our firefighters and our emergency medical personnel. When you're out trying to get to an emergency, you're under a tornado warning, you know, you can't see anything going on in front of you and you need to know what's going on. You can't drive down the road and look at Facebook to see the radar or the information. So we're providing that information, simulcast from WBRC. We're providing that to all of Calhoun County on 2 transmitters.
Listen, we all use social media, and there's so many different ways to get information. I think we're at a kind of a critical point, you know, as far as weather information goes, and just making sure we remind ourselves of that urgency. When you look at a tornado warning, the first few minutes are the most critical stage as far as protecting your life in those situations, and it's so important that you have that urgency.
Yes, absolutely. You know, our preparedness kit. You know, how long can you stay at home if the water is not working? You know, those are important things, because once we see a major tornado event, we see a lot of infrastructure problems. You know, our job at 911 in Calhoun County is to protect our public safety communications infrastructure.
And tell us how some sources folks can reach out to you during events and also in preparation.
Oh, sure, absolutely. So Calhoun County 911 and Calhoun County EMA, we are co-located in the same facility. So of course we're able to communicate and exchange information very easily, and either one of those sources is a great way to get in touch with us if you need some help in Calhoun.
And we'll certainly be spreading the news as far as the weather forecast goes and what we're tracking. But Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. Some great information. Hope to have you back on. Of course, we have a lot we're going to be talking about coming up on First Alert Weather Extra. We break down the wet pattern in store over the next week, plus show you where winter weather is still happening. We'll be right back. And welcome back into Weather Extra, almost in that second half of the week here. And as we take a look at the radar, you can see there's some light showers moving through. The models were more aggressive with the rain for this evening. The wet weather's been really lighter returns that we're seeing so far. So the good news is no major storms right now or anything like that. It's just mostly showers, but there will be some wet roads in some areas. You can see primarily right now it's Tuscaloosa County, now pushing into Jefferson County and southern Walker County, and this is slowly moving to the east. And we're seeing indications that there could be a couple more pockets of rain that try to work in across the area through tonight. So still just mostly some light showers. You can see that we were watching some of this over Fayette earlier, but now that's starting to taper off, but then pushing in towards parts of Walker County at this time. I want to go back over to radar though, and since we do have a little bit of rain that we are tracking, I want to just check out one more view here. We'll go in right over Jefferson County, and let's just take a look at where these showers are with respect to the city of Birmingham. And you can see right there around the Bessemer area, some showers over towards Mulga and Sylvan Springs. So that light rain hasn't quite reached the downtown area yet, but some of those showers starting to move in. So just letting you know there if you're wondering when this rain's going to start, and it's very light activity if you want to get a walk in. Temperatures still very pleasant out there tonight. I mean, we're talking about lows only around 60 for some areas tomorrow morning. Still some clouds and maybe some fog around to start the day. And again, a few showers over the next few days. You'll see those rain chances around 20 to 30%, but most of the rain in the next few days is going to be limited to far northern areas. So we still have plenty of opportunity to get out there and enjoy some of these nice conditions right on through Saturday. In fact, planning the weekend, look at Saturday, 78 degrees, and it looks like rain chances are mainly north of our area Saturday. Sunday could see a couple of showers, places like Coleman County, 70 degrees there for a high temperature. But next week, watch these rain chances. They really start to go up. We've got this front that's stalled to the north, and typically when we get in what we call southwest flow patterns here, a lot of moisture streaming in across the region. We have these little disturbances that move along and increase those rain chances. We'll see one of those waves Monday into Tuesday, so we have a period of rain possible, and then we're going to be timing out another setup around Wednesday into Thursday and next week for the possibility of some more wet weather. I wouldn't cancel any plans you have for Valentine's Day, as the possibility for rain, we could catch some breaks there towards the end of the week. So we'll be fine-tuning the timing as we get a little bit closer there towards the end of next week, but do know that we do see those higher rain chances as we move into the end of the week. Tania?
Thanks, Wes. And we're going to take you to our friends up north now as they prepare to see dangerous winter weather heading into tomorrow. Meteorologist Megan Thomas has the latest on this.
We've been talking so much about the unseasonably warm conditions in the south that we've almost forgotten about that winter is still going on. We've got winter weather advisories stretching from Oklahoma all the way through Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and then up and through New England. And in fact, there is an ice storm warning for tonight for parts of the Allegheny Mountain Range. Now, here's what's interesting. This whole system is setting up as we speak, and it's going to bring a lot of ice, rain, and some snow in the mix as well. Ice anywhere from Chicago to Toledo, Ohio, up and through Washington, D.C. Then it transitions over to snow, and it looks like New England from Boston up through Maine going to get walloped with several inches of snow. So that's the big setup. Now, how much is the totals across some of these communities? We're looking anywhere between a quarter of an inch up to a half an inch of ice back up through the Allegheny Mountains. So that is, again, dangerous ice conditions. In addition to that, you'll add snow on top of it, and through portions of central New York, over 5, 6, 7 inches of snow possible through New England all the way up into Maine. Now, 2 inches in Maine is not a lot of snow, but when you factor in that ice conditions, again, not great travel weather. So if you have to travel within the next 24 to 48 hours across the Ohio River Valley and into New England, you may want to check some of those airport websites.
Thanks, Megan. Well, don't go anywhere. We have a final check on your weather and a look at some of your weather photos. Plus, we're sending off Weather Person's Day on a good note. We'll be right back.
And let's take a look at those weather photos. A beautiful sunset on Straight Mountain sent in from Sandra Martin.
What a view.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous. And Deborah St. John sharing this sunset from Glen Cove. Lots of purple in that picture there. Look at all these colors.
Ooh, and this one, Candace Burt, a sunset in Alexandria. Gorgeous view.
Look at that. Oh, beautiful
that's
view.
cute.
The sunset on the beach looks like the local wildlife. We're enjoying it too. Thanks to Jimmy Kelly for sending that in.
And Sandra Morgan, a lovely sunset from Hayden, Alabama.
Oh.
But the clouds really putting on a show there.
They are. And you know what else was putting on a show today? Bluebell.
I know. I walk back over here. We've got tubs of ice cream.
We do.
And
Yeah.
wow. Oh, this for me.
That's for you,
Okay.
Wes.
Wow. I just noticed that.
I don't
So-
have much left because I've been eating it the last 10 minutes or
I
so.
definitely just ruined my dinner. But if you're wondering, why are we watching them eat ice cream? It's National Weather Person's Day, and Bluebell every year goes to TV stations across the U.S. and brings us ice cream.
Yeah, it's very cool, and we certainly appreciate it. And we certainly appreciate every person that's reached out to us today, but also our colleagues with the National Weather Service and weather personnel all across the country. There's a lot that goes into forecasting, and it's not just, we show the 10-day forecast, but all the data that's gathered in that process and in the harsh weather elements.
Yeah, and it's not just people who are on TV, it's people behind the scenes, like you mentioned, our partners with the National Weather Service. We're so grateful for them. And our very own producer, Kimberly Beal, who is studying to be a meteorologist right now. She's behind the scenes, and we would not be on air without her right now.
We sure wouldn't. And then we also want to shout out all the aspiring meteorologists because you can celebrate today too.
Exactly. And hey, who needs a holiday to eat ice cream, right?
Hey, I love some ice cream.
This was great.
Hey,
I don't have any left, so.
We made it through January. Treat yourself. See you back tonight on First at 9.